The Braves, that was a foregone conclusion after the first inning. They're down 10-0. But with the Dodgers, they had a chance. They set a franchise record with 106 wins during the regular season. They're the first team with at least 105 regular season wins to fail to advance to a league championship series since the installment of the divisional series in 1995. Now, the Astros may join them if they lose to the Rays tonight. But no team faced more pressure, I don't think, entering this baseball postseason than the Dodgers. This was their 7th straight postseason with no championships to show for it. You win 106 games, but there were concerns. Their ace, Clayton Kershaw, has been vulnerable in the playoffs. The back of the bullpen was shaky, and both of those fears came to fruition last night. Kershaw blew a late lead against the Nationals, and then manager Dave Roberts didn't even go to his closer, Kenley Jensen. He went to Joe Kelly. He led up the game-winning grand slam to Howie Kendrick. The Dodgers go home, and they go home with more questions than ever. The Braves got bounced, but, the Braves have a bright future. That's a young team there. They got blown out, and I'd rather take that blown-out game against the Cardinals than I would that pain and misery that the Dodgers suffered last night. If you're able to pick how you lose, I'd rather go out where there's no doubt whatsoever, just like the Braves. But the Braves got a bright future here. And for Clayton Kershaw, it's really heartbreaking because I don't want to see somebody go through that pain and misery, no matter who it is. And he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you might not want his career. Like when you think about what has happened in the postseason and that tag, he's got that tag of he's a choker, can't come through in big games. The great pitchers come. He might be the best regular season pitcher of all time since Roger Clemens, since Greg Maddux. But you know what? Maddux wasn't great in the postseason ever. But he wasn't awful. And Clayton Kershaw, you could tell, the Nationals knew that he didn't have his velocity. But you've always, I think, complimented Kershaw because his control has been impeccable. When he misses by just a little bit, then he runs into trouble there. But for all the people who love the Dodgers, figuring out who to blame is not going to ease any pain heading into what will be a very, very long offseason. Some of the reaction from that, here's Dave Roberts on Clayton Kershaw after the game.
When is analytics going to come into play and, show that Kershaw hasn't been, successful in the postseason?
That's a tough question for me to answer, honestly.
Also, who's to blame for the loss, because we love to blame here. We should credit the Nationals because they did what they played to their strength there. They got youth, they got some good hitters, and they relied on their pitchers. Strasburg, Scherzer, you're relying on those guys. And they were, Dave Martinez, the Nationals manager, was just, he didn't want to go to Scherzer. He was hoping he didn't have to go to Scherzer. But I do have a question for, baseball fans here, not just Dodger fans. If you don't go to Clayton Kershaw last night and you lose, then what are we saying? Right? Now, he's done well in relief in the postseason. So I know that we're a results-oriented based sports society. And the first pitch that he gave up the home run, that was not a bad pitch. Okay? The second one he gave up was a bad pitch. But if you don't go to Clayton Kershaw, then do you say, and you lose, do you go, you had Kershaw. Why didn't you go to Kershaw? He went to Kershaw. It didn't work out. And I think Dave Roberts in the offseason will say, I can live with that. Because only he and Kershaw know what Kershaw was feeling, what he thought, the matchups, the analytics, lefty, righty. But these young hitters, Soto and Rendon, they're up there, man. They're ready to rake. They are awesome, awesome players. And Clayton Kershaw is not what he once was. Just isn't. He's probably a second or third starter now. Maybe a third starter on that rotation. Walker Buehler pitched great again. But Clayton Kershaw just didn't get it done.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.